Toji's probably the coolest character in all of Jujutsu Kaisen besides Gojo, so I'm gonna tell you some stuff about him you probably don't know. Let's go. Number 1. Toji Fushiguro was actually a member of the Zenin clan, but he was completely ostracized from the clan due to his lack of cursed energy. As we know, Toji was born with literally 0 cursed energy in his body. The big 3 clans being the Zenin clan, which was his clan, the Kamo clan, and the Gojo clan, they all valued cursed energy and techniques more than anything else. As we later learned though, the Zenins were probably the worst out of all of these clans. People that were born with little to no cursed energy in this clan were shunned or bullied, people like Maki and Toji. Eventually, Toji had enough of this and he left the clan forever. He took his ex-wife's last name, Fushiguro, and then he began his life as an assassin, which leads us to our next point. Number 2, Toji's nickname was the Sorcerer Killer. Because of his unique abilities, Toji had the perfect kit to defeat and kill Jujutsu sorcerers. He probably does this because of his disdain for the entirety of Jujutsu society after the way he was treated for his entire life, so he has no qualms about killing them for a price. Since Toji has no cursed energy in his body at all, Jujutsu sorcerers cannot sense him and track him the way they would other opponents. He carries all of his weapons inside of his worm-like cursed spirit so that he doesn't have to actually hang on to them all the time, you know. His powers are honestly very similar to Asta from Black Clover. Neither one of them have the main power of their world, which would be magic or cursed energy, and both of them use something to carry around all their weapons, Asta's being his grimoire, Toji's being his cursed spirit. Speaking of weapons, our next point is this. Toji's inverted spear of heaven can nullify any technique or any cursed energy. As we just saw happen in season 2, the inverted spear of heaven can literally cut through any technique, including Gojo's Limitless. Now, if you know anything about Limitless, you know that this makes Gojo literally untouchable to the vast majority of people. Well, Toji being Toji uses this inverted spear of heaven and just stabs right through the Limitless technique like it's butter. The thing is absolutely crazy, and it pretty much resembles exactly what Toji is as a character. It's just a wild card. He combines his spear with his chain of 1,000 miles, and that pretty much gives him unlimited range. I mean, he can attach the spear onto the end of the chain and then just fling it. He's got infinite range. Well, I say infinite range. A chain is only so long, even if it is 1,000 miles, but you know where I'm going with that. Now, sorcerers can faintly sense these tools because they have the cursed energy imbued inside of them. But Toji, and only Toji, has an advantage when it comes to this because of his heavenly restriction, which leads us to our next point. Number 4, Toji's heavenly restriction traded all of the cursed energy that would normally be in his body for insane physical prowess. At birth, Toji was cursed with the heavenly restriction that he would have 0 cursed energy in his entire body. But because of the inverse relationship between cursed energy and physical prowess, he was pretty much the fastest and strongest guy ever. He was the only sorcerer ever born like this, but it actually would change later, so we'll talk about that later on. That's going to be included in the spoiler section. Number 5, and you definitely know this one, Toji is Megumi's father. As we all know, Toji was probably one of the worst dads ever to Megumi, but he was his father nonetheless. Toji literally offered to sell Megumi to the Zenin clan later on in his life, but he obviously died before that could happen, so Gojo took in Megumi and raised him as his own. In Toji's final moments, he was actually a decent father. He warned Gojo that in a few years his son was gonna be sold to the Zenin clan, and that obviously wouldn't be a good life for the kid. Gojo decided to take in Megumi and raise him to be a sorcerer, and that led to their relationship being more like a father and son than Toji and Megumi's ever was. Speaking of Gojo, our next point is that without Toji pushing him to the brink of death, he would not be half the sorcerer that he is today. In a way, Toji is directly responsible for the virtually invincible Gojo that we see today. Before Toji stabbed Gojo, Gojo could not use the reverse curse technique, which means that Gojo couldn't use his red technique or his hollow purple technique or his unlimited void domain expansion, and his 6 eyes had a much stronger effect on him to the point where it exhausted him and he could turn it on and off. Now he can't even do that, but that's another story. If Toji did not push Gojo to the brink of death where the only way he was going to survive is if he mastered reverse curse technique, Gojo would not be that guy. Number 7, Toji keeps his inventory curse spirit in his stomach. So the worm-like cursed spirit that Toji keeps all his weapons in is just like any other cursed spirit. It's made of cursed energy. The thing is, Toji's body has absolutely 0 cursed energy in it whatsoever, so Jujutsu sorcerers can't track his movements at all. They could track his cursed spirit though, so he had to improvise. To conceal both the cursed spirit and the complete arsenal of cursed tools that he used to fight inside of the spirit, he shrank the spirit down into a little ball. Once this was done, he would swallow it and keep it in his stomach. Being completely inside of a body with no cursed energy, all the sorcerers that Toji fought could not track him using that cursed energy signature of the spirit or the weapons. They were both masked by his body, so they really couldn't do anything about it. Now, these last two facts will contain spoilers for the manga, so if you don't wish to be spoiled, skip ahead to the last section and I've got a bonus fact for all of you. Number 8, during the Shibuya incident, Toji was reincarnated into a new body by a woman named Granny Ogami. He was revived in body and powers only so that he could do her bidding, but Toji, being Toji, broke free from the control of her grandson and took over his body, who he was reincarnated inside of. While he was in this state, he thrashed about, attacking everyone around him with a focus on the strongest opponent nearby. Eventually, he crossed paths with his son Megumi. Before he could inadvertently kill his own son, he took control of the body and talked to Megumi. He asked him his full name, and when Megumi told him that he was Megumi Fushiguro instead of Megumi Zenin, Toji was happy. Without ever revealing to Megumi that he was his father, Toji smiled and stabbed himself in the head, ending this second chance at life so that his son would be okay. Toji seemed to actually care for his son in this twisted way, and it was pretty heartwarming to see. Now, number 9, Maki Zenin woke the same heavenly restriction inside her body that Toji had after the death of her twin sister Mai. Alright, there's a lot to unpack here. So we all know that Maki was born gifted physically and with no cursed energy, just like Toji, but not nearly to the same extent as Toji. She couldn't awaken her full potential to be just like him because she had a twin. Within the world of Jujutsu, twins born were counted as a single soul instead of two separate entities. Because of this, even though Maki was born with her heavenly restriction, it was not in full effect until Mai died, because Mai did not have the same restriction. When Mai died, their souls kind of merged together and Maki's restriction went into full effect. Everything about her body and power system morphed into the exact same as Toji. It was like they were identical. She would go on to murder the rest of the Zenin clan for all the atrocities they committed against her and her sister and Toji and everyone like them before. Another sorcerer killer was born. Now, since you all stuck around for so long, a bonus fact for you is this. Toji's scar on his mouth came from the Zenin clan locking him in a pit full of evil cursed spirits. He was just a kid and he had to fight his way out of this pit, defeating and killing every single one of these cursed spirits, and he got this scar on his mouth in return. Now, these facts about Toji explain pretty much all there is to know about him, but if you want to understand pretty much everything that's going on in Jujutsu Kaisen, in the anime at least, right now, you have to check out this video covering Gojo right now. Until next time, peace.